almost to the jail. One last time. Is there anything you want? Is this anything to do with your family?
Former Sheriff Mickey Stines is trending this morning as his defense team is asking to remove the presiding judge. So in a motion filed on Monday, Stines' defense team claims that Judge Christopher Coron can't be objective in the case due to his close relationship with victim Kevin Mullins, saying, quote, impartiality might reasonably be questioned, according to the defense in their request. Here's what they say. They point to a video that was taken 7 days before the shooting occurred. And in that video, you see Judge Kevin Mullins and Judge Coron just inches apart for approximately 2 hours. Mullins and Coron were attending a mental health meeting with the Kentucky Judicial Commission. So both of those judges there together and sitting close to each other. So Stines' defense team claims that this judge didn't disclose that meeting with victim Kevin Mullins, and that leads to, quote, an appearance of impropriety. All right, so let's get down to it. Should the judge recuse himself? Let's talk about it. Let's bring in attorney Franz Borghardt and retired NYPD detective and the co-host of the Gold Shield show, Tom Smith. All right, so legally here, Franz, I want to go to you on this part. Is there something here to this motion? Does the defense team have a point? What do you say?
So sometimes we file motions not because we have a point, but to alert the judge or the world that, hey, we know that you guys knew each other and that y'all were colleagues, and we're just putting you on notice that we know that. And I don't expect them to win this. I don't expect it to be a recusal. But if you're defending the guy, and keep in mind, Julie, this ain't a whodunit. So if you're defending the guy, you got to file this motion. You got to file it. And maybe an outside judge from another place wouldn't be a bad idea. But that said, this is not going to be a winner. The mere appearance of impropriety is generally not enough to cause a recusal. But it's a good motion to file to protect the record.
Definitely. Yeah, Franz, you're exactly right. You know, and if you're on the side of the state, or the Commonwealth in this case, in Kentucky, and you are saying, wait a minute, there was no close relationship. I don't know. I want to be very clear. We don't know here at Court TV what the relationship is, so let's get that out. But let's just say, for the sake of our analysis, that you're confident that this was just a meeting, that two judges were attending, nothing more. Tom Smith, I'm wondering if you ask one of your investigators at the DA's office to go look into how many other judges from that courthouse might have been there too. That's what I would want to know. What do you say, Tom?
Yeah, that's going to be part of it. But Franz is exactly right. You know, the defense has a job to do, and they're going to pull off everything they could possibly do to defend the defendant in this. And this is one of them. Do I expect it to be overturned? Like he said, no. But you're going to cover every base, because here's why. You want it done correctly, Julie. You know, if you're the prosecution and you're law enforcement, you want to make sure all your dots are, your T's are crossed and everything else, to make sure that this conviction stands and there's no grounds for an appeal.
Mm-hmm. Right, Tom, exactly. Yeah, so I suppose we'll wait and see what the state's response is to that motion. We'll see if they say, look, this was a meeting and nothing more, or maybe, look, stranger things have happened. Prosecutors aren't always aware of these things. So sometimes it's good when a defense attorney brings something, to you that you need to be made aware of, because nobody wants anything coming back, as you said, Tom. So let's talk a little bit about the insanity defense here. We understand that Stines' legal team might be trying to argue extreme emotional disturbance that occurred at this time. And this defense team is writing in this motion that the relationship that the presiding judge has with the victim, so they say, could create some bias in him maybe not letting certain evidence in that may point to temporary insanity. Franz, what do you think about that nuance to the argument?
I mean, maybe the pickle sticks on the wall, Julie. Look.
That's a good saying. I like that.
Right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, sanity or some kind of heat of passion is only going to be this.
Oh, and Franz, we just lost your signal. Tom Smith, it's going to be like Groundhog Day for you. Yesterday, we lost a signal. You saved the day. Today, we're having you do it again. We're going to hire you pretty soon. So tell me, with the temporary insanity, looking at that video we were just looking at, Mickey Stines raising that gun. I mean, what do you say as an investigator? What do you see in that video?
A absolute premeditation, a knowledge of what you're doing. You know, he didn't just walk in there, blast a couple of rounds and run out the door. This was a conversation. This was precise. Even walking around, you know, like you're seeing right now, making sure he's down, shooting him again, crouching down right at the end. This is absolute a cold-blooded murder that he knew exactly, in my mind, what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. You know, Tom, it's interesting. You're looking at how he's, I mean, when you're going to fire a shot, he's firing the proper way. Is he not? I'm not saying this was wrong, but just the way, look at how he holds the gun. You know, he's, it's chilling to look at. Tom, do you think that the jury is going to see temporary insanity when they look at this?
I don't think so, because of everything we just talked about and every point that we just brought up. You know, you can not tell, but you know what I mean, when it's a spur of the moment action and maybe the insanity thing will work. When you have something that is so precise in what you're watching, it's going to be very hard for them to come up with any other conclusion in this, in my mind. Just on the video itself, the video is damning, as you know, but it just kind of tells its own story of what he was thinking and what he wanted the outcome of that altercation to be.
Yeah, it really does, Tom. You're exactly right. Franz, I think we have your signal unfrozen, so I want to give you a chance to weigh in. We were just talking about how chilling this video is. It's, you know, we see him shooting the judge at very close range, you know, taking the time to square up. I mean, using his non-trigger hand to support his other hand. I mean, it's just, ooh. Do you think his defense team can be successful in a temporary insanity defense, Franz?
I think that in this video, it would be very difficult to argue that he did not understand the distinction between right and wrong. He might have a good argument for heat of the moment, heat of passion, depending on the reason he's doing this act. He may have a nullification argument for, hey, this judge had it coming. And I'm not saying the judge had it coming, and I'm not saying that murder is ever justified, but sometimes that's the defense. Is this person put himself in this position, and anybody in this defendant's shoes would have done the same thing. That's a very hard nullification argument, Julie, and it seldom works. But that said, to your question, I don't think sanity on any level is going to work based on the I'm going to use the word tactical nature of this shooting. Look at the way he's holding the firearm. Look at the way he...
Oh, you froze again, Franz, but we know where you were going with that. That's a good way to say the tactical nature of it. Tom Smith, do us a favor again. If you finish us off for this segment, it does look tactical, doesn't it? It looks to be an attack that he seems so collected and calm. Doesn't seem like he's losing it, but we don't know what was going through his mind. Maybe he was. What do you say, Tom? Final word, please.
Yeah, I think you used a great word, you know, calm. He just took his time doing it, and that's how calculatedly cold he was in doing this. He knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to kill this individual, and he spared no expense of doing that and walking up again. You see him going to leave the room and then stops and comes back and shoots him again. I mean, that is just as cold-blooded as you can get.
Oh, it really is. That's chilling to watch that video. Tom Smith, excellent analysis from you. As always, friends at home, be sure to check out Tom's podcast, The Gold Shield Show. It's awesome like him. Happy New Year, my friend. We'll see you in 2026.